If you're looking to improve your aim, then make sure to check out Control Freak and use the code OGXRAYZ to get 10% off all the products. Link in the description below. Yo guys, what's up? It's XRAYZ. Welcome back to another video here. So we have some more gaming news here. It's actually a follow-up on what we made yesterday, at least for one game. But yesterday we made a video talking about how the PlayStation 5 was outperforming the Xbox Series X on cross-platform games. It was actually kind of crazy. Mostly the issue was just that the Xbox Series X seems to be having some issues with the higher frame rate modes. So basically modes where you go into performance over the quality. So instead of 4K, you're going basically downscaling and going into putting less stress on the GPU so that it has higher frame rates. And well, the Xbox Series X was chugging along. It was actually sometimes up to 40 frames slower per second than the PlayStation 5. If you guys want to see that video, check it out. I described really what the issue was. I'll link it down below. But today we're going to have a follow-up on that, where at least one game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, seems to now be fixed, and the Xbox Series X is right there with it, or sometimes outperforming. At least that's what the article is saying. So let's jump into it. If you guys enjoy the video, drop a like, guys. If you're new, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on. And if you guys want to support the channel directly, you guys can do so by checking out my sponsors, Control Freak and Scuff. I use them every day when I'm playing. Code OGXRAYZ gets you a discount over there. And over on my Amazon influencer page, if you guys would much rather do it that way, link down below. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's talk about this article. This is from Eurogamer, and it goes over Digital Foundry. Now they have done a follow-up after patch 1.0.4 for Assassin's Creed Valhalla that seems to fix this issue. So let's read through the article. Thursday's 1.0.4 patch for Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the first big update for Ubisoft's latest massive open worlder, and a crucial one, delivering a vast array of gameplay improvements and bug fixes. But of course, the Digital Foundry focus is more on technical validation for what has been the most contentious of the next generation launch lineup. For all of its specs advantages, the Xbox Series X ran with a performance penalty against PlayStation 5, while Xbox Series S launched without the signature next-gen 60 FPS support. The 1.0.4 patch aims to address all of this, and indeed it does, and also adds a 4K 30 quality mode too. First of all though, we need to tackle the interesting wrinkle that has emerged from the arrival of the new patch. While there is broad consensus that the performance situation is much improved on Xbox Series X, another narrative has emerged suggesting that the PlayStation 5 version now runs worse than it did. To clear this one up straight away, we could only find the example of this actually being the case. The introductory cutscene takes an occasional small drop to frame rate. We didn't see it in our first test. In every other stress test we have, the PlayStation 5 runs at the same frame rate with the same dynamic resolution results as it did previously. Where there has been change is the Xbox Series X, where Ubisoft has made great strides in addressing the performance deficit, significantly reducing the intrusive screen tearing. It's not completely gone, but it's certainly hugely improved and is the most stringent of our stress tests. Xbox Series X can now outperform at PlayStation 5. How Ubisoft has achieved such a huge turnaround in such a short time may sound like a technological miracle or the result of some gigantic optimization push, but the solution is simpler than you think. And if you guys want to see the video with the actual test, it's in the article. I'll link it down below. All versions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla support dynamic resolution scaling, adjusting the amount of pixel drawn on a per frame basis in order to hit the target frame rate. At launch, the window of potential resolution for both consoles scaled from 1440p at the lowest to circa 1728p at the highest, 67% to 80% of full 4K resolutions on both axes. This remains the case for the PlayStation 5 version of the game, but lower bounds of Series X have reduced to 1188p or minus 55% of full 4K. To be clear, Series X will only tap into this newly introduced lower resolution when it has to. For the majority of play, pixel counts are considerably higher. However, widening the DRS window is how Ubisoft has achieved its objective here, and it's a good solution. Monetary lower resolution is a fair trade to make against far more noticeable screen tearing. In fact, it's good enough to roll out for PlayStation 5 too in order to eliminate its own tearing issues. And I'm surprised the same solution wasn't deployed on both next-gen systems. But in the here and now at least, PlayStation 5 runs with a higher resolution, while Xbox X generally runs a touch smoother. Patch 1.0.4 also introduces a 4K quality mode for both machines, which seems to do exactly what you would expect. The 60 frame rate for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is traded for an evenly paced 30 FPS. And in all pixel counts we measured, both versions run at full 4K. Dynamic resolution scaling can't be ruled out. But in this mode, both consoles are effectively interchangeable, all of which leads us on Xbox Series S, which initially launched with some graphic downgrades and lower resolutions, the ERS again, but typically around 1296p, and now possesses its own 60 frames per second performance mode thanks to this new patch. So, if you're playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's running better now on Xbox Series X. Basically what they did was they lowered the range of the DRS, so the Xbox Series X is going to have lower resolution sometimes, but it helps smooth it out, makes it a lot more smooth, and it gets rid of some of that screen tearing as well, which is also really, really good. And on the Xbox Series X, now you have a 60 frame per second mode. If you care more about the frame rate, or if you care more about resolution, then you can drop down to 30 as it was running before. If you guys want to see the article for the rest of the information here for the Xbox Series S, then check out the link down below to the article. But I really wanted to talk about this because this does kind of bring us now to what will possibly be happening here with future games on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. There's probably going to be a lot of optimization going on, especially if you're trying to claim that you're the world's most powerful console ever made. And the Xbox Series X certainly on paper is the stronger of the two consoles, but it was having some issues. And again, like I went into in that last video yesterday, which check it out if you guys missed it, the main reason seems to be because the Xbox Series X wasn't given to developers early enough, or at least as early as PlayStation 5 dev kits. So they have a better idea of how the PlayStation 5 works at the moment over how the Xbox Series X does. And again, launch window for both consoles, there's going to be a lot of learning and a lot of growing pains for both of these consoles, so they eventually run as smooth and as beautifully as they possibly can. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about the Xbox Series X versus PlayStation 5 war we are seeing at the moment. Drop it in the comment section below. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys found the video informative, helpful, and entertaining. If you did, drop a like, guys. Super appreciate it. If you're new, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on. And if you guys want to support the channel directly, you guys can do so by checking out my sponsors, Control Freak and Scuff. I use them every day when I'm playing. Code OGXRAYZ gets you a discount, or through my Amazon influencer page if you guys would much rather do it that way. If you guys want to interact with me live or just say hey, Twitter at OGXRAYZ, link in the description below, or over on my Twitch, twitch.tv/theOGXRAYZ. If you guys want to talk, interact, see what I'm up to, or just want to say hey. You guys have an awesome day. Take care. I'm out. Peace.